You know that person, right? The one who walks into a room and just has something. They instantly command attention, but they're not even trying. It's not their looks or their job title, it's an energy, a vibe. I saw this once with the actress Deepika Padukone. Her charisma was just, you could feel it. It pulled you right in. But here's the secret, the part no one tells you. She wasn't born with it. It was built. And that means charisma isn't magic. It's a skill. And it's a skill that anyone, yep, that includes you, can learn.
Okay, so let's get into it. Here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to break down how to develop that magnetic presence piece by piece. We'll start with your inner mindset, then move to how you connect with others, and by the end, you'll have a super clear skills you can start using right away. So the whole idea we're diving into here is that those people who seem so effortlessly charming, well, it's not effortless. They've just mastered a set of social skills. I mean, if you go back and watch early interviews of some of the most charismatic celebrities out there, that same energy often isn't there. It's proof that it can be learned, it can be cultivated. Being socially magnetic isn't about being the loudest person in the room or copying someone else. It's really about being present, being real, and being tuned in to the people around you. So let's just start with this one powerful question. What if that magnetic quality you see in other people isn't some exclusive gift they were handed at birth? What if it's just a series of techniques you can practice and get really, really good at? This is all about shifting your mindset from seeing charisma as this fixed thing you either have or you don't, to seeing it as a muscle that you can build. And that brings us to skill number 1, and honestly, it's the most important one, embracing what you might call your cringe. You know that little voice in your head that says, oh, don't do that, what if they think I'm weird? We all have it. But I want you to think about the character Jeet from the movie Jub We Met. She's loud, she's a bit chaotic, and she is 100% herself. And that's exactly why we can't forget her. Her authenticity, that's her magnet. You know, there's some really powerful psychology behind this idea. This concept here on the slide, self-efficacy from Albert Bandura, basically tells us that confidence isn't something you just wait around for. You build it by doing. Every single time you let your quirky laugh out or you share that bold opinion, you're sending a little message to your brain that says, hey, it's safe to be me. So, how do you actually do this? How do you practice it?
Okay, first, stop letting other people's opinions define your value. The goal is not to be liked by everyone on the planet. It's to be authentically you. Second, you get to make your own rules about what matters. And here's a really powerful mental flip for you. Before you go into a social situation, instead of asking, will they like me? I want you to ask yourself, will I like them? It's a game changer. And finally, challenge yourself. Do one small thing every single day that feels 100% you, even if it feels a little, well, cringy.
So once you're feeling more grounded in who you are, it's time to actually connect with other people. This next section is all about our next 2 skills, and they're both focused on one thing: making people feel genuinely seen and valued. All right, skill number 2 is all about complimenting character over appearance. Look, we're all used to the surface level stuff. Nice dress, you look great. But compliments that really land, the ones that hit deeper, are about effort and character. Think about the movie English of English. Shashi is admired for her grace, for her dignity, not just her sari. There was even a study at the University of Pennsylvania that found this kind of praise creates way more emotional closeness. You're basically telling someone, I see who you are behind the scenes, and I really appreciate it. And that leads to skill number 3. Stop treating conversations like an interview. You know what I mean, right? So what do you do? Where are you from? That feels like you're filling out a form, not making a connection. Instead, people with that magnetic quality, they weave conversations like they're telling a story. They pay attention to the little things, and they bring them up later. And the impact of doing this is just, it's huge. When you remember a small detail about someone, like you ask them how their dog is doing after they mentioned it was sick last week, you make that person feel incredibly seen and heard. It shows you are actually present with them. The cricketer Virat Kohli is amazing at this. He'll casually bring up past jokes or comments, and it just creates this feeling of warmth and real connection. Now, let's talk about what happens beyond what you say. Your nonverbal energy, your presence, is so incredibly powerful. So this next section covers 2 skills that are all about how you manage that energy. It's about how people feel the moment you walk into a room and what they remember long after you've left. This brings us to our 4th skill, mastering your entry and your exit. There's this classic idea from cognitive psychology called the primacy recency effect. All it means is that we remember the beginning and the end of any interaction the most vividly. Think about Sid's character in Wake Up Sid. At the beginning, he's just barging into rooms with all this chaotic energy. By the end, he enters with this quiet, grounded confidence. And that transformation is what really sticks with us.
So practice entering a room with energy, not urgency. Before you walk in or before you hop on that video call, just pause, take a breath, and then enter with presence. Make some eye contact, smile. Let people feel that you've arrived, intentionally and calmly. And you could argue that your exit is even more important. Don't just vanish or sneak out. Make your goodbye feel warm and complete. A simple, "It was so great seeing you," or sharing one last moment of appreciation, that leaves a lasting positive feeling that people will carry with them. And all of this leads right into our fifth skill, social calibration. This is all about reading the energy of a room and adjusting your approach. And you're not trying to become someone else, you're just tuning into the room's frequency. Deepika Padukone does this masterfully. If she's at a mental health event, she's soft-spoken, she's vulnerable. If she's on a red carpet, she's bold and poised. See? She's always herself, but she matches the energy of the space without ever losing her authenticity.
Okay, so we've covered being authentic, making connections, and managing your social energy. Now, let's go a little deeper for our final two skills. Because people with that magnetic quality aren't just doing things differently, they are thinking differently. This is the inner game.
Most of us, especially when we're feeling a little anxious, we default to this question, right? It's all about the outcome. It's focused on getting a result, being liked, and that way of thinking often leads to this sense of neediness or like you're trying too hard, which ironically just pushes people away. But this is the power of our sixth skill, inverted thinking. You shift from thinking about the outcome to thinking about your identity. So instead of chasing a result, you start to embody the mindset of the person you want to become. You're not just copying what they do, you're stepping into the mindset behind the actions. It's a simple shift, but it gets rid of all that desperation and helps you act from a place that feels real and aligned. And that brings us to the seventh and final skill of this inner game, really understanding vulnerability. This isn't about emotional dumping or oversharing to get someone's approval. No. Magnetic people use vulnerability intentionally. They share real stories to build a bridge of empathy and connection with someone. And this is just captured so perfectly by the researcher Brené Brown, who says vulnerability is about having the courage to show up and be seen. Think of that incredibly powerful scene in the movie Tamasha, where the main character finally breaks down. It works so well because he's not asking to be fixed, he's simply asking to be seen for who he is. That is vulnerability done right. Okay, wow, we've covered a lot of ground. So let's pull it all together into a really clear, actionable blueprint that you can start using literally today. So here's the bottom line. These are the 7 skills we just walked through. You do not have to master all of them at once. In fact, don't even try. Just pick one. If you start consciously practicing even just one of these in your day-to-day life, you're going to notice a massive shift. Not just in how people respond to you, but more importantly, in how you feel about yourself. And look, if there is one single thing you take away from all of this, let it be this. True magnetism, that real attractive quality, it doesn't come from a performance. It's not about trying to stand out. It comes from standing in your own truth. People are drawn to what's real, not what's perfect. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. You have the blueprint now. The journey to becoming more magnetic isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more you. So, which skill will be your first step?